Bonjour cher spectateur. Si vous avez cliqué sur cette vidéo, c'est que vous avez envie de vous faire retourner le cerveau. Alors laissez-moi vous parler de TheStanleyParable.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Comme vous avez pu le comprendre, Stanley est un employé de bureau, chargé d'appuyer sur des boutons tous les jours. Pour lui, chaque jour devait se ressembler, mais un beau jour, il s'est passé ça.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ok. Comme vous venez de le comprendre, Stanley se retrouve tout seul dans le bureau. Et apparemment, ça n'est pas très habituel.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
La salle de réunion. Oula, je sens que je vais me perdre là-dedans, moi.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
À ce moment-là, le premier choix de Stanley s'offra à lui. La porte de gauche, la porte de droite. Ce fut son premier choix parmi tant d'autres. Ok, donc de ce que j'ai compris, je vais sûrement devoir faire des choix. La porte de gauche ou la porte de droite? Ça a l'air d'être exactement les mêmes. Je vais prendre celle de droite. Attendez, arrêtons Stanley 2 secondes. Est-ce que vous avez bien remarqué la phrase du narrateur qui disait qu'il devait prendre la porte de gauche? À ce moment-là, Stanley ne s'en est pas rendu compte. Voyons voir ce qui va se passer alors.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
À ce moment-là, Stanley, sans réfléchir, écouta le narrateur et prenit la porte de gauche.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Sauf que là, Stanley fut attiré par cet ascenseur. Mais encore une fois, le narrateur n'avait pas dit d'aller par là.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
J'imagine qu'elle va se fermer, que ça va être celle-là.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Ok.
Let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
À ce moment-là, Stanley s'est rendu compte que certaines choses étaient un peu bizarres. Mais c'était pas la première chose qu'il allait voir de bizarre. Waouh, mais je crois que j'ai déjà découvert quelque chose.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to him. Who am I kidding? It's rubbish now.
427.
Story
Ouais.
completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Quoi?
This time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Oui, vous ne rêvez pas. Le narrateur a bien dit qu'il allait relancer le jeu.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Ok, on reprend
Stanley
tout.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything
Que ça
should be...
change.
Well, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Je choisis quelle porte, moi?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I think it's unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot.
Oula. Je pense que vous comprenez. Le narrateur essaye de raconter l'histoire de Stanley, mais celle-ci a l'air d'avoir de gros problèmes.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Et encore une fois, le narrateur relança le jeu.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the TheStanleyParable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Qu'on soit bien d'accord, la musique du narrateur est bien nulle. Je vais vous passer ça pour vos oreilles.
Look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no.
Ok, on est de retour là.
Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Oh là. Vous comprenez un peu mieux maintenant ce que je vous ai dit. Il y a des choses assez bizarres.
Oh no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
On va continuer à suivre la ligne du coup. On va arrêter de suivre la ligne du coup. Encore des portes.
We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
La fin troublante. Celui de la salle de maintenance, finir dans la salle des écrans. Le narrateur relance le jeu, premier démarrage. Vous avez joué la fin. Quoi, hein? Du coup, premier démarrage, vous découvrez que la salle aux deux portes comporte maintenant plusieurs portes en plus. Mon semble que le narrateur relance le jeu, deuxième démarrage. Le bureau est maintenant sans issue. Faire demi-tour, trouver une autre voie sans issue. Dans un autre bâtiment, le narrateur relance le jeu. Troisième redémarrage, ligne d'aventure, philosophie absurde, musique, au bureau. Retourner à la salle des écrans, quatrième redémarrage. S'aventurer vers les territoires vierges, retrouver la ligne, Trouvez le programme de la fin troublante, le narrateur relance le jeu. Le narrateur oublie qu'il a déjà relancé le jeu. Stanley essaie de suivre l'histoire, mais il est empêché. Ne peut
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come first? Will something happen?
Parfait du bureau qui...
So,
crée une histoire ici, le narrateur relance le jeu. Puis les bureaux, seulement un espace noir.
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story.
Stanley est parti, le narrateur relance le jeu. Le narrateur est parti, au bout d'un moment, Stanley meurt.
Wow! Life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
En fait, je peux pas interagir avec ça. Je viens de réaliser un truc. Effectivement, je venais de comprendre quelque chose. Comme vous pouvez l'entendre, à chaque fois que j'appuyais sur ma touche, il y avait un bruit de touche d'ordinateur. Et je vous rappelle la tâche principale de Stanley ? Appuyer sur des touches d'ordinateur chaque jour. Est-ce qu'il était dans un rêve ? Bonne question.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Je suis parti à gauche cette fois, on verra. Ah, la salle de réunion.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Je parle pas anglais, je comprends. Bon.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ok, donc on va monter. Vu la lumière rouge, je préfère pas descendre. Donc là, on arrive dans le bureau du chef. Wow. Oui, là, je viens d'être émerveillé par des toilettes. Je comprends toujours pas l'anglais. Interagir un peu avec les choses. Parce que vraiment quand j'essaie d'appuyer sur un clavier, ça marche pas. Il n'y a pas de bruit.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
C'est quoi ce bordel? Encore un ascenseur?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oula. On va aller là-bas. On va continuer à suivre le bon chemin. Enfin, le bon, je sais pas, mais en tout cas le chemin qui est indiqué.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
On a juste de trouver un ordre. Il n'y a que 1 et 2. C'est quoi par là?
When at last he found the source of the...
Je crois que Stanley a appuyé un peu trop vite sur les boutons.
Just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the
Je sais pas où est le
bomb
4.
goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to
Je sais même
talk
pas si on a
about
plus
you,
que 5.
about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're
C'est le
obliterated.
4e en haut, je pense.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
J'essaie d'éteindre la machine.
To say this though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley?
Bon, je vais vous passer ce moment. J'ai rien trouvé. Impossible d'arrêter ce compte à rebours.
We fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Wow. C'est reparti.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
la porte de gauche,
he
du coup.
entered the door on his left.
Qu'est-ce qui va changer cette fois? Le bureau.
Yet there was not a single person
c'est
here
la réunion.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Je vais monter et je vais prendre l'ascenseur dans le bureau du chef. On verra bien ce qui se passe. Voilà, la musique. En fait, l'ascenseur, il menait nulle part. Il revenait directement à l'endroit où on l'a pris. Donc on appuyait sur le bouton du bas ou le bouton du haut. Ça revenait au même endroit. C'est qui chante? C'est le narrateur ou c'est le personnage? Il est long cet ascenseur. Hein? Ok, c'est juste pour avoir de la musique d'ascenseur. Ça servait à rien.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Si j'appuie sur le bouton du haut, là je peux. Ah non. On a qu'à redescendre du coup. Au lieu d'aller vers la salle des écrans, on va passer là à gauche.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Hein?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Si je meurs vraiment, c'est marrant. Oh. Je suis pas mort.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the
Ah ok, je vais me faire écraser.
He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his
Je
narrow
peux pas bouger.
vision of
Je
what
peux
this
pas
world
bouger.
is. Perhaps his death was of no great
Je vais me
loss,
faire écraser.
like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this
Je vais me faire
violent
écraser.
end
Comme...
to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Ah oui, ok, bah je vais... Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
J'ai fini?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Oh. C'est moi qui avance, hein. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Salle de maintenance. Une des premières versions de la salle de maintenance. Tiens. Je suis perdu dans le musée. Salle du compte à rebours. Une des premières versions de la salle du compte à rebours.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
J'imagine que ça va éteindre le jeu. Je vais appuyer sur le... Enfin, je vais actionner le levier. Et si le jeu s'arrête, eh ben... J'espère qu'on se reverra vite. Pour une prochaine vidéo. Est-ce que vous êtes prêts? C'est parti. Alors, vous avez aimé? Personnellement, je ne qualifierais pas Stanley comme un jeu, mais plutôt comme une expérience sur votre cerveau. Chaque action dépend de vous, et chaque choix que vous ferez vous mènera sur un nouveau chemin. C'était mon histoire, et maintenant à vous de faire la vôtre.